Alrighty, we got another walk and talk today. Checking out the GoPro Hero 11 on these new settings. So if you're interested in just looking at the GoPro footage, if you have a camera interest in this video, then I will put the settings on the screen. And also, I'm going to be trying to sync up the two mics.
I'm not mic. I'm camera girl. We
got the DJI set up, so I will have the video with the DJI audio, and it's kind of, we're walking into some wind, so it's a little breezy, but we got the dead cat on here, so enough technical stuff. That's what we're doing. We're doing this test of our equipment before we head out on some travels, and we're walking by kind of a noisy doohickey over there, so.
Really, Sherlock?
Well, I mean, I don't know, because I don't know how it's going to sound on the mic. So I'm saying that so that when I look at the footage, it will
not Mike.
It will remind me what the noise was. So it's kind of noisy right there, so we'll see if it's usable. If it's not usable, then we'll know. But we're going out on our daily morning walk, although it's not really morning, because we've been trying to get in shape. I mean, we always walk, because that's the least you can do. But we're constantly struggling to improve our health, because we want to be as mobile as we can going into the future, and we're trying to do some things now that we might not want to do in 10 years. I don't know. So we'll be getting on a plane and heading to South America, and I guess we'll be in Ecuador, and I don't think you can drink the water there, so we're gonna have to be mindful of the water. And we kind of like doing interesting food stuff, so we'll probably be eating street foods and stuff like that, so we're gonna have to be careful of our guts and whatnot while we're walking. Although the camera girl hates when I say stuff like that. She says I'm being negative.
No, you know what? You be you, I'll be me.
But I mean, I like to think about all the potential problems and just be aware of them. And I don't know, I think I do focus on it a little too much. We got our fun glasses on, and we got matching hats.
Mine has a flap. You don't like the flap?
Yeah. I didn't get the flap. And also, what is this, sun cube? I went ahead and marked off the sun cube on mine, because I try not to do the branding thing as much as I can. Let's cross over here so I'm not fucking with these people. But I mean, you can still sort of see it, but I try not to be a walking advertisement. Like, I try not to wear shirts that have anything on it, and I always try to block that stuff out. But the thing is, we're using this GoPro thing, and there's GoPro written all over this. I mean, I know they're proud. I mean, part of me wants to take the marker and mark off the GoPro on my chest harness, and I want to mark off the GoPro on the camera here. And
why not?
Well, I mean, they're still relatively new. At this point, I don't think I can return them. You know?
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. I haven't crossed that line yet to where I want to start disfiguring the equipment just in case I do have a problem and I want to whine about it and send it back. Although I don't think we can do any of that stuff before we hit the road anyway, because our time crunch is so small right now. You know, but we're trying to figure out our equipment and see what we're going to take and what we're going to leave and what's going to work for us and what isn't. And speaking of equipment, you had a little bit of a computer adventure this week.
Yeah. You know, hard drives do go kaput. So mine did. Thank heavens I had a backup. Didn't have two, which is what I prefer. But also, we just finished our taxes, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, so now we have a new laptop we're traveling with.
But you had stuff backed up, but your computer, I guess the only computer you have, went kaput. So since we work on computers, it's kind of you know, it's something we can't get on a plane and fly away without. Alrighty. The heavy traffic area, so see if I can get across the road alive and not be fooling with the camera too much and become one of those people. Isn't there a thing where people have like last shots, you know, where people did selfies and,
Yes.
and stuff because they're fooling with the camera in a precarious position?
Yes.
Golly.
You don't want to be that person.
No, of course not. You don't want to be that person. But I mean, you know, if you're, you know, you're probably at a moment that you're very excited about and you're trying to capture this image, you know, you want to remember it. And
yes, but you know what? We were talking about that yesterday at a family get together, and we get so caught up in catching it on phone, film, whatever. You know, your mind can remember things.
Well,
And
your
you can-
mind can't remember things.
You can.
Mine get less and less good at it all the time.
I'm just saying that sometimes you can distract yourself from the moment. That's all.
Yeah, for sure.
And so that's what makes some of those situations so sad is, yeah, they were so worried about capturing it for later, they missed the now and there's no later.
I think we've gotten better about that.
Well,
When
I
we're
leave my
doing our
phone away.
videos.
Yeah.
Like, did you think that when we were in Chile and Mexico, that making the videos
It wasn't as challenging.
sort of took over
It
the
wasn't
enjoyment
as
of the
challenging.
trip?
No, we've done okay.
I don't feel like that at all. I mean, I actively try not to spend a lot of time videoing each little step because I know that I have done that at some time.
Yeah.
Started that process where you're just trying to catch all these little clips so you can put them together and sort of capture a whole experience, and then that really does become too distracting, and I think it does take away. So I think I try to compartmentalize the video making now so that we can have the experience on one hand, but then we can also
Then you can go back and capture.
capture some video that encapsulates certain parts of the experience, you know, especially like tutorial things. Like we did the tutorial on the Santiago subway, which I think was a really good video, but that was just one little afternoon. You know, we rode the subway all the time and we got all that information, and then we kind of got used to it, and then we made the video. And I think that's ideal for the travel videos, is if you can just encapsulate one, I guess, goal-oriented part of the video, like catching a bus or catching a tram or visiting a certain area. And then there's also just kind of like an experiential video, which is sort of like what I'm watching when I watch a video on YouTube.
Yeah.
You know, which is just kind of a walking and talking video like this, where they're actually showing areas. You know, they'll say, you know, like somebody that's making a video will say, I'm in this part of town and I'm walking around. And then that way I can sort of get a feel for what there is to see, and I can put myself in that position. And I really like that. It sort of makes it more accessible for me, which is good and bad, because it also takes away from
Exploring it for the first time.
Exactly. So sometimes you can know too much when you go, but
Yeah, but
it
when
does
you're
alleviate some stress.
But like this, when you're just walking and talking, but you're not really saying much, I don't know.
Well, the thing is,
I like them to be informative.
Well, I like them to be informative, and I like them to be entertaining. You know, I mean, there's only so much information you can give. What I don't like is when it's just the video and music, or it's just the video and there's no sound going on, there's no dialogue. to me, I find that boring. I think some people would prefer that, you know, to
sure.
something like this that's talking. But that's
Sort
what I
of
like.
rambly.
Yeah. But we're trying to get our bags down to what we've had them in the past, which is, how many liters are our bags?
You know, I should remember the liters. I don't know.
Is it 21?
No, I don't think so. My bag right now, with everything in it, weighs 21 pounds.
Yeah, 21 pounds. I don't know how many liters, but it's a pretty small bag.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So everything that we have is in one carry-on bag. And I'll have a link down below, because I can't remember the thing, but if you want to see what kind of bag that we travel with, and we've been traveling with this now for how long?
3 years?
It's a lot longer than that. Because we got it in Chile. We got it for our Chile trip, which was in 2018.
Oh,
when
really?
we went on that. So we would have got it on this probably right before then. So I guess it'll be 5 years. This will be the 5th year. And it's fantastic because if you've got everything, if you're carrying everything that you're traveling with, then you don't have to, you know, that relieves a lot of stress of checking bags and keeping up with bags. You know, I've worked in a lot of hotels and in a lot of tourist areas, and man, it always looks so miserable when people have more than they can carry, or what they have to carry looks like too much of a burden. And our stuff is kind of a burden. I mean, it all goes in,
you're a minimalist, that's why.
yeah, I mean, it all goes in one bag, but it's very heavy.
Well, yeah, and you leave out a lot of stuff.
Yeah, we don't want to, you know, just because we have it all in one bag, we sure don't want to be walking around carrying that bag any more than we have to. But we're Slowpoke Travel. So usually we just got to get our bag to a spot from one spot to the next spot, and then we can leave it there for a while. Although it's going to be a little bit before we get to that spot when we get to Ecuador. But I think it's going pretty good as far as equipment wise, and we'll see how this footage works out. I think I've done all the testing that I need to do with this, except for maybe trying the mic stuff. I don't know. I don't have a lot of faith in these mics up here on our...
Well, they're a little obvious, ostentatious.
Yeah, but you know, like I said, we're going to compartmentalize our video, so it's not like we're going to be walking around all the time mic'd up. But when we're walking around the city, you know, and we want to make a video, I think it'll be nice to have both of our audio tracks, and you know, so then one of them's a backup and blah blah blah, and I think it'll just make the audio a lot better, which you really have to think about with these GoPros, because the GoPros don't have the best audio. But anyway, we're coming up here on our little trendy, I don't know what this is.
What are you talking about?
Just very generic cityscape. So the noise is definitely going to get a lot worse up
See
here.
you in a little bit.
We're Slowpoke Travel because we're slow, but we're also budget travel because we're budget. But, you know, that's one of the reasons that we're going to Ecuador. You know, we had a house sit in England that we were sort of, what were we doing?
Oh, I was looking forward to it, yeah.
I was looking forward to it, but it was going to be very expensive, even with the, I wish I could have got you doing your hand gesture. I'll tell you what, when I start talking about being cheap, that's an American Beauty shot right there.
No, it's not. Oh, yeah, exactly. No.
Nothing makes camera girl more frustrated than her boyfriend being financially responsible.
What?
What?
Oh, I love that.
You love it? I don't know. Anyway, here we are at this Starbucks. Oh my God, Starbucks. Starbucks is just fast food, but it's really our best option where we're living right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up, and that's it. This is a test. I'll see how it works. If it works, then you'll see it. If it doesn't work, then you'll probably still see it. But any which way, something more interesting in the future, I'm pretty sure.